Game 3, round 4, Suncorp Super Netball comes to you from Netball, South Australia Stadium. It is the Adelaide Thunderbirds against Giants Netball. Matt Russell, Sam Poolman, Emily Beaton bringing you this one. So much expectation around the home team, given the unbeaten start to the season, the addition of Eleanor Cardwell, and so much promise shown by the winless opposition. That's right, the Giants still searching for their first win, but plenty of experts, including Sam Poolman, believing it's not too far away, Sam.
No, Giants Netball know how much they can stand up to the Adelaide Thunderbirds. They will respect them in terms of their form and the opposition, but they are hungry and they're pumped for this win.
So a late huddle led by Eleanor Cardwell off a big win. A big win against the Lightning, 66-42. The fast feet of the Giants not fast enough against the Vixens last start. Beaten by 5, 62-57. Before that, a 1-point loss to the reigning premiers, the Fever. So they can afford to smile because their netball has still been good. Let's have a look at the Woolworths team cards. Sam, take us through them.
Giants Netball goal shooter and captain Jo Harton leading the way. She will want to go up another level today and needs to with matching up with Sterling. Amy Parmenta, a little quiet for me last week and out of play in terms of her contact. So a really good lineup there for Giants Netball and a consistent one that we've seen from them.
Another near sellout crowd in a Netball South Australia Stadium a fortnight ago has been widely publicised. We had a game abandoned at half-time because of dangerous decals and a blackout, but the Thunderbirds lineup brought to us by Woolworths, they know they're going to get through a full game today.
They are really glad to see that lineup from the Adelaide Thunderbirds is the same one that they dominated last week. So Eleanor Cardwell there in goal shooter, sharing the leadership with Shamira Sterling in goalkeeper. So this is a lineup that I back and I'm excited to watch this afternoon.
Both coaches using very few substitutions last week. In fact, Tanya Obst rolled with the same 7 through the entire game, so let's see whether that's the plan again today. The game ball delivered. We are set to go in Adelaide in what on paper shapes as a fantastic contest. Hope you're enjoying your Easter Sunday netball on Fox Netball. Let's go in the City of Churches. And it's straight away Georgie Horgis, fed by Williams. Now Tipper Dwan goes back to circle edge. Horgis, a lob pass that Parmenta intercepts and then throws it out of play, but it was, well, a promising start by Amy Parmenta, who maybe has been down a little in recent weeks.
Great touch from her and so early. She will want to bring her dominance straight away in this quarter, so great to see her hand on ball so early, considering she was a bit quiet last week.
Thought it might have been touched by Adelaide before it went out of play. Not the case. So the Thunderbirds in possession.
Goal attack. Beside the goal attack.
So Sophie Dwyer called out of play. Now Williams to Cardwell for the first score in Adelaide, and she delivers.
That would be a little bit of a nervous start from the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Really smart, then a screen to open up Elle Cardwell back under the post. 95 from 105 coming into today for Cardwell. Shooting at 90%. The dominant scorer in this Adelaide lineup. Assisted by Tipper Dwan. Lucy Austin there as an option as well, but no court time for Austin last week. And here's a turnover. Wow, great pickup from Williams. She is number 1 in the league for pickup, so Elle Cardwell finishes off for her.
Latanya Wilson, Shamira Sterling, Tilly Garrett.
Have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. Yes, it is a small win, but that's what she's so good at. Number 1 in the league for pickups, shared with Tipper, and second in Sterling.
Shamira Sterling, you look across the lists, or the list where she's top 3 in the league. Here's Cardwell again, doing it at the attacking end, back to the defensive end. Shamira Sterling, pickups, deflections, intercepts, gains, defensive rebounds, Nissan net points and blocks. She's top 3 in all of them.
She is very impressive goalkeeper, and it's the work in front of her.
Harton.
Well-placed ball by Sophie Dwyer. They're going to respect her as an opposition and need to place that ball just like that away from Sterling.
Sam, let's talk about the opening quarters because the Giants have lost all 3. Adelaide also slow starters, only winning the 1 opening term so far. Cardwell scoring again. So I'm sure a big emphasis this week is on a better start for both teams.
Absolutely, and already the energy on court and from the crowd, you can just feel it. The importance of this game requires that level of energy and intensity from the first whistle.
Hey for Dwyer. 4-1, an early jump here for Adelaide, and Sterling wins possession.
Long ball out in transition. Great vision from Sterling. Look how quickly the Adelaide Thunderbirds are transitioning down the court. They are confident.
They're playing like an unbeaten team as Tipper Dwan thought about shooting from range but wants a better look.
Well, I say confident, then she doesn't back herself on that shot.
She had a good think about it. Is this Tipper's range? Tipper Dwan makes it 5-1 to the home team.
Have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. This is what she is so good at rebounds and then picking up that ball. Amy Parmenter. What a game. You cannot put that ball in a pocket high ball without Amy Parmenter's name on it.
The second win for Parmenter in this first quarter. And now it's Williams proving a nuisance. Let's bring in Emily Beaton. It's a big start by the home team. Emily, what are you seeing?
Yeah, they're looking good. They're gelling really well together. I'm seeing they're isolating Elle Cardwell at the back there. Anytime that she can get a one-on-one, they're sending it in, and I think that's something to watch, and she's absolutely exploiting her strength at the moment.
You're right, Em. That's exactly what she is so good at and what we spoke about in pre-game. The goalkeepers for Giants Netball are going to have to really move their feet and shut her down.
So looking for consecutive goals after Sophie Dwyer scored for the Giants. All a bit messy in the circle. The visitors hold possession. Hey.
Oh, Wilson.
Wilson applying the pressure. Dwyer finds Jamie Lee Price. Working in with Dwyer. Matilda Garrett making life tough for the Giants. Plenty of passing. When's the shot going to come? Joe Harton puts it on the floor for Dwyer, and Sterling up with those long arms waving in front of her. Dwyer gets it done, but that took a lot of doing.
That did. For me, paying respect to the opposition. But Amy Parmenter again. Well, we call her out for being a little bit quiet last week. Oh, Joe Harton.
Yeah, Dwyer was out of control, threw it back in hope. Harton made sure they kept possession.
Wow.
Now Dwyer finishes. This is better from the Giants.
Have a look at the replay. Harvey Norman showing us a great intercept. Oh, Sterling nearly had that ball. Great intercept, Parmenter. She has been super impressive and bringing that intensity from the first whistle today. Having trailed 5-1, they're trying to lock it up at 5-all here. So a nice run from the Giants after it was all Adelaide early on. And in this matchup, as Julie Fitzgerald looks on, 10-2 in favour of Giants over Adelaide. The Thunderbirds winning just twice against this Sydney outfit. Williams, now Horges, finding Cardwell in the backspace, but she slips. And it will be Price called for the contact. Cardwell. That's a dominant record, isn't it? 10-2 in favour of the Giants. How much is that a factor today, Sam? Well, it brings a little bit of confidence. Another pick-up from Sterling. Joe Harton telling them just to slow down their play. But you're right, it gives you that confidence before you even walk on the court that you have that edge over the opposition. Yes, the team has changed. Great contest there from Tillich McDonald.
Despite that lopsided head-to-head count, last season it was 1-all. And now Dwan all alone at post, and she scores. We heard that the Giants were fired up for this game, a winless start to the season. Plenty of teams have recovered from this predicament before at 0-3, but Julie Fitzgerald, it is certainly strange for her to be in this situation as we have an HCF tactical timeout. We expect to see that desperation reflected in the visitors.
what you see, not looking for anything better. You're letting the ball go.
Great job, here we go.
30 seconds here, deep breath. No timeout going into the 2, so we'll use our brains with that. Let's play to what our strengths are. Holding on to this ball until we get the opportunity to go to goal. Here we go, together. Giants on 3, 1, 2, 3, go! Let's go, let's go.
So the Giants emerged there. Amy Parmenter leading the Nissan net points on the back of 3 intercepts in the first quarter. Taylor Williams, 3 goal assists for Adelaide. So Wilson on for Tipperdown. Cross court, Williams. Cardwell a long way from home, so she brings Wilson back into it. In the centre third.
Moving off. Contact centre at the top.
Borges to Cardwell.
Defence contact.
April Branley called out a play, and that's all the opening that Eleanor Cardwell needs.
Really good patience from the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Giants netball defenders just need to continue to create that pressure and stay in play.
Sam, how concerned will the Giants be about the whistle going against them so far? It has been a problem for them. Has it over the first 3 rounds?
If you're standing out of play, you're taking your ability away from contesting the ball. So we see Amy Parmenter getting hand on ball so early in this game, using her speed and coming off the body. They need to find the balance between staying on the body and contesting and building pressure.
Contact, goal defence.
And just like that from April Branley, not giving up a penalty that release is the play, just like that, an easy option into the circle.
Beautiful feed from Taylor Williams to Eleanor Cardwell. Adelaide have it by 3. Sophie Dwyer, long for Hay. Now Harton. Harton, a mid-range shot. It's good. So Harton and Eleanor Cardwell, the 2 English roses in the shooting roles. Fantastic international players head-to-head in Suncorp Super Netball. A little tip there from Dwyer. But Adelaide hold possession. Wilson. Williams on the move.
Contact, Thunderbird centre.
And it goes the way of the Giants.
Finding distraction, goal shooter. Throwing Giants.
So it's off Wilson. Maddie Hay with the throw-in. 9-7 to Adelaide, first quarter. And we're a minute from the super shot becoming open.
Have a look at the setup defensively from the Adelaide Thunderbirds, sitting in that box formation, which means they're in a 4 off the body. It allows Giants netball freedom to move through.
Harton over the high hands of Garrett makes it a 1-goal game. Emily Beaton.
What I'm loving, the matchup I'm really watching intently at the moment is Georgie Horgis on Amy Parmenter. We've spoken about Amy so much already this game with the touches that she's been getting. And one thing that Georgie really brings to her game is her smarts. She's one of the smartest players on court, whereas Amy Parmenter is all about that athleticism. So I think for Georgie to really get up, it needs to be using her netball brain to beat Amy Parmenter.
You look at Georgie Horgis and Williams in that mid-court for the Thunderbirds, basically level pegging for feeds and goal assists. There's some nice balance for Tanya Obst as you hear the sounder signal, the Suncorp super shot being in play. But Sam Poolman, how are the Giants going to approach the final 5 minutes of quarters today?
Well, we heard in the HCF timeout from Captain Joe Harton that they wouldn't be able to call a timeout, so they need to play in their smarts. They'll want to do just that, get the ball back from the Adelaide Thunderbirds and be really smart with what they do here in attack. If they don't need to take a 2, they don't need to, and when you play around like that, Sterling has the opportunity to get ball.
Well, Cardwell missed the super shot, her first miss of the game, but then she's bailed out by her defensive unit, which wins ball at the other end of court.
And this is why the Power 5 is so exciting to watch.
Now it's McDonald winning ball.
You're right, because defenders, that's their job. They need to get hand on ball. In attack, you need to play it smart. Do you need to tick over scoreboard pressure and go for a 1? Oh, Tilly
moving, and now Sterling keeps possession.
Fantastic intercept by her. That's what she was so good at last week. 4 intercepts in the game. Very impressive. Nice to see her get hand on ball.
Tilly Garrett, having played at Collingwood with Jiva mentor Shani Norton, and now she comes here and has Wilson and Sterling to work in with.
Well, what great combination to also compete on court with and learn from. But you're right, 60-minute performance from her last week. She'll want to do that. This is exactly the shot that I'm talking about. The ball has transitioned up and back, but have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. You also had 2 Adelaide Thunderbirds defenders fighting over it, but Garrett with the intercept stat.
Palmetta quickly to Jamie Lee Price at circle edge. Sophie Dwyer, defended by Shamira Sterling. A super shot attempt, that's good. The first of the game, another $100 to the Confident Girls Foundation. $55,000 raised last year for the Confident Girls Foundation, and it's on again.
Well, interesting on back play, Joe Harton is having a bit of a giggle with Sterling, but then had some really serious words to the Adelaide Thunderbirds on the bench. So you can tell how important this contest is and how much Joe Harton wears her heart on her sleeve.
Sam, coming into this game, the Giants had taken 52 super shots, 22 more than any other team. That's why it's been a big talking point. And despite the super shot taking and making for Sophie Dwyer, they haven't been able to close out a win. In fact, they didn't score in the final 5 minutes last week against the Vixens.
You're right, but they need to pick between scoreboard pressure and 2-point shot, because now they're hot in hand. We see the Adelaide Thunderbirds calling a HCF timeout to tactically get themselves into this game.
After trailing for most of the first quarter, the super shots give Julie Fitzgerald's team the lead.
Work down there, keep that up, but remember, if someone's isolated, think about how we get that lateral or the stop and go back, or you go back to the line and play yourself back down. But I think we can get you coming out a bit more on the side, potentially, or through the middle, and double play yourself in.
Guys, they're going to run on balls like that. If the ball's there, they're going to run on that. So that's it. You're the ball carrier, you've got to go back, and then you come back into that person, okay? You've got to come up to create the space for yourselves, yeah? Yeah. Go back if you go. There's no options, go back. Yeah? Let's go, 4 minutes here.
Good back, guys.
Guys, let's play back to our structure. Let's get our head in the game and let's go. T-Birds on 3. 1, 2, 3. T-Birds! Let's go!
Let's have a look at the intercepts, or just some of them we've seen in this first quarter. Sam Poolman, what have you made of the urgency and the disruption that both teams have been able to create?
Oh, I'm loving, as a goalkeeper and former defender, I'm loving when I watch intercepts. They are entertaining, but they also show the skill as a defender. More to come throughout this game.
Emily, over to you.
So I was listening into the Giants huddle then. They were very calm and very confident. They were just telling each other to let the ball go and push on.
Okay, they're in a 3-point game as we speak. Giants 13, Thunderbirds 10. The Giants chasing their first win. The Thunderbirds trying to avoid their first defeat. Sophie Dwyer a bit closer range this time. It's their biggest lead of the game, 4 goals and counting.
Held ball.
Great
Held ball.
defensive effort. Look at Branley. She is loving this. A held ball shows that your defensive pressure from your entire team is really up there. It's such a great stat. I feel like Giants Netball are now playing with confidence and letting that ball go at the start of the match. I feel they were playing a bit too much respect to the quality opposition and hesitating and not letting that ball go. So it's a fine battle by, you know, knowing what the defence end can do, but then letting it go and playing with freedom.
Sophie Dwyer, 7 of 8 shooting. Harton with the miss, and Sterling gets the rebound. Another one to the count. Just back to that defensive pressure from April Brandley. We speak about the experience of Joe Hart and the leadership she provides, but April, in her 13th season of Elite League Netball in Australia, 42 years of age and still contributing massively for the Giants.
Another win for Giants Netball. Not only are they getting clean intercepts and hand on ball,
Bring the throwing right down here.
The umpire is now advancing the play. The Adelaide crowd is not loving that. But back to my point about Giants netball defence, they're getting hands clean on ball intercept, but now they're creating pressure. As Sophie Dwyer stands up and delivers another super shot, they really need to identify how to shut her down.
She's a perfect 3 from 3 from range. As a result, the Giants have a 7-goal lead. Tipper-Dwan to land Adelaide's super shot answer. She'll get another penalty shot and another one. Is it third time lucky? Tipper-Dwan improves the angle slightly and improves the finish massively. So we hit quarter time with Adelaide landing the first blow, but the Giants have fought back from a big first quarter deficit to lead it by 5. At the first break, Giants netball 17, Adelaide 12.
Welcome back to Netball SA Stadium, where it has been a hot start by the visitors, Giants Netball, who lead the Thunderbirds by 5. The Thunderbirds came out really strong at the start, but now the Giants really built it back. I am here with some Adelaide Thunderbirds fans. Patience, who's your favourite player?
I think they're all amazing. They all play so good. I couldn't pick one.
It's tough, isn't it? And who do you think is going to win today?
Well, I think the Thunderbirds can bring in a win. They have such amazing players. They can bring back the score and they can definitely win it.
Beautiful. Back to you, Matt.
Good on you, Emily. Just part of the community that supports Adelaide netball and supports players like Eleanor Cardwell. That Origin quarter time was complete with Easter Bunny and Easter eggs and plenty of messages from the coaches. Sam Pillman, what did you hear at quarter time?
Well, their focus wasn't on the Easter eggs or the competition that we saw in the quarter break, but it was about having those options in attack, doubling if you need, and playing back. So let's have a look at their transition from the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
Before the Origin quarter time, we had the Giants down by 4, then up by 7. Now they lead it by 5 into the second quarter. Jo Harton, fed by Jamie Lee Price. Here's Dwyer. She's been a slick shooter so far in this game. 11 from 12 now for Sophie, including a perfect 3 from 3 in that first Suncorp super shot period.
We see there's an interesting change-up. We see Macy Nankerville come on in centre there from the Adelaide Thunderbirds, and that is now 12-17. Giants are really dominating their performance and playing with confidence. This is the Giants netball that we've seen over the last few seasons.
Price, Harton, that circle edge. Now to Dwyer. Sterling slapped at the ball, but she'll be penalised. Harton. Let's repeat, the Giants over the last 2 weeks might have been beaten, but it was against last year's grand finalist, and narrowly. And then round 1, they were missing Hay and Harton, 2 crucial ingredients. Of course, they were ended last year by a 1-goal preliminary final thriller. So you go back to the end of last season where they won 6 of the last 9 games. There's plenty of netball in this Giants team, and Jo Harton feeling confident. It's not yet the super shot period, but Jo just has a little practice right there.
Well, that shows the leadership that she has. She is serious business, and she'll know she needs to stand up and deliver. Confident feed there from Nankerville as she enters this game. She hasn't seen too much court time this season, so she'll want to make sure that she really makes an impact in this first couple of minutes of this quarter.
Harton and Cardwell going at it at the scoring end. Nankerville getting a touch to the ball, but Parmenter held possession for the Giants.
Centre out of play.
So the Giants win their first opening quarter of the season, 18-12.
And they are certainly big on their stats. They would talk about that during the week as a team. Have they hit their targets in terms of their centre pass conversion and games? And they'd certainly identify that winning the first quarter is important. Another error from the Adelaide Thunderbirds. That's credit to the pressure of Giants netball defence. We identified they haven't got too much hand on ball this season, and boy, haven't they come out to play in this match.
Just going back to your point about Maisie Nankerville finding time on court. She didn't play last week, neither did Lucy Austin. Coach's decision.
Well, and I think it's credit to Jamie Lee Price. I think she's in some of the best form that we've ever seen her. Yes, Taylor Williams is an exciting new talent, but when you go up against, oh, that call, Joe Harton wasn't happy about it. Obstruction call. So Adelaide Thunderbirds get the ball. Let's see if they can put the feedback from Tanya Ops into play. They need to have another pass. See how they're struggling here because of that really impressive, great tip and chase from McDonald. But that's what Tanya Ops is wanting from them, that extra double play, so an extra pass and the options. If they can't go, great pressure. I've been saying it. You'll be sick of me saying it, but have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. She has been quiet this season. McDonald, great tip and little chase. And the unit defensive pressure to have another help ball in this game.
Price and Parmenter bringing up the floor for Hay.
They do, and that's the double play that the Adelaide Thunderbirds need to add in their attack lineup. Oh, Sterling.
Yeah, the Giants getting bogged down. Well, sorry, Adelaide getting bogged down, then the Giants showing them how to do it.
Well, that was a perfect what I was trying to say, that their coach wanted them, and Giants netball attack went out and did it. That's always nice.
Emily Beaton, you owned the mid-court. What are you seeing in your former club and their clunkiness at the moment through the middle of the court?
Yeah, they're being put under a lot of pressure by the Giants defence. What I'd love to see from them is more change of direction. It's really tough to outrun these girls. Jamie Lee Price and Amy Parmenter are so athletic. They need to start using their smarts. Look at
Tilly
that.
Garrett.
Oh, what a contest.
That could have been awkward as Joe Harton fell into Matilda Garrett. Luckily, there was no hyperextension.
We see on the replay, oh, that's a few big collisions there. Have a look again. That circle end now, the crowd, can you hear them? They're not happy with that call. Have a look at close.
Oh, Sterling.
I was just about to say, who's going to stand up in response? Sterling does. The crowd absolutely love her. And when you get taken out, that's exactly how you can respond.
Intercepts, blocks, gains, pick up Shamira Sterling. She does it all, and she has done for a long time. And now Eleanor Cardwell scores at the other end.
Her entire team is off the bench. Have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. The timing, the use of her long arms and the ability to chase.
What a block.
Well, she's sitting second in the league for pickups. That's what you got to do. Have a look at the pressure over the shot again. But Joe Harton, nothing bothers her, does it?
It looked great in the Harvey Norman replay. Shamira Sterling at her athletic best.
Well, if you're a young netballer and defender, want to learn how to defend over the shot, that's exactly how to do it. Time and another help ball. We're going to have to see maybe some changes from the Adelaide Thunderbirds, or as Em Beaton said, I'd be interested to see what she thinks. Em, they're getting really stuck. Another held ball. How do they make themselves out of this situation?
Yeah, the thing I'm noticing is Tippett Wan is curving around on her leads. What we need her to do is really angle back towards the ball at that half a second earlier, so they're getting someone before that 3 second rule.
And play to your strengths, right? Tipper is so good with her speed and fast. They just need to make sure that you're right, adjusting and coming back to the ball. But credit to the Giants netball defenders. This is the pressure that we know they are capable of.
That was Julie Fitzgerald watching on in her 25th year head coaching, and no doubt happy what she's seeing from the Giants, forcing 3 held balls in just over 20 minutes of netball. So we will have an HCF tactical timeout because the difference is 8. Giants 24, Thunderbirds 16.
I think we can play a little bit more of a stationary, like get you in a second phase hold and those things, rather because they're going on the run. I think we are free. We're just not giving the ball. All right. So
the short ones, yeah.
Yes.
Chip it away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at you, Taylor, being...
All right, guys.
Ready up,
We need to adjust to the umpires. If you see your player release the ball, give the damn ball, okay? T-Birds on 3. 1, 2, 3. T-Birds!
That's crystal clear from Shamira Sterling.
Well, I won't repeat her words, Maddie, but she is direct, and we see multiple changes from the Adelaide Thunderbirds. We were unsure around how they weren't getting out of the little bit of a, stuck position. So let's see the changes on court. Lucy Austin comes in that goal shooter position. What can they make of these changes?
So Maisie Mankivell with centre pass and Lucy Austin, the two did not play last weekend. They find court time in the first half today.
And they've made a change in the defence. And Jamie Lee Price, she's been great defensively for Giants Netball to the start of the season, but we see Taylor Williams come back on to the court. Let's see if she can go from sitting on the bench and having a look and making an impact. Sliding Wilson. Great pick up again from Giants Netball. We say that the Adelaide Thunderbirds this season have been very good in topping the league in pickups, but Giants Netball are winning this battle.
Now Wilson.
As Wilson stands up and gets another intercept.
For Austin, to Horges, Eleanor Cardwell, that's what Adelaide needed. Just to settle it, to bring the crowd back into it.
Look at the Harvey Norman Reese play, Wilson's elevation. That's what she's so good at. She's now on in that goal defence position. Sophie Dwyer has been very impressive at the start of this game. So let's see if Wilson can shut her down.
So many tips and touches and deflections in the first half here.
There is. It's just about making sure that you score off the possession, making sure that you have multiple options in attack. And middle of the channel of the court, Maddie, we see everyone trying to throw over and across.
Austin wins the high ball. Tilly McDonald was there waiting. And now Cardwell to Austin. Austin scores her first goal of the game.
Austin has been very good in the past season when she came in as a replacement player. Probably not overly happy with how she started this season, but now she's sat on the bench. I think she's watched that matchup. She looks more confident and strong, and she's not moving around like we've seen in other games this season.
She's 15 of 19 shooting this season, yet to take a super shot. Lucy Austin watches down the other end of the court where Harton and Hay work in together. The two players who missed round one, that heavy loss against the Lightning for Giants.
In the two. Hold time, grab a wipe, please.
Okay, hold time to wipe the floor. There have been some slips down there. We're glad it's not the decals.
Yes, I think that just shows all shooters and defenders in that circle contesting, and they're not pulling out, and that's sometimes how you land on the decals on the floor, because you'll put your body and everything to get the ball.
Jo Harton, 9 from 10 shooting. She's taken a back seat in terms of shooting to Sophie Dwyer. Off Brandley, so Cardwell can shoot. 26-19. 6 minutes left before the half. They were out of the blocks quickly, Adelaide, but the Giants settled and now have control. Can they maintain it to the big break? Plenty of work for Jamie Lee Price and the Giants to do yet. Parmenter back to her centre. Now Amy finds JLP again. Sophie Dwyer at post. There's a score.
Thunderbirds. Contact, wing attack.
Taylor Williams towards the contact, goes to Horges. Lucy Austin with Brandley trying to deny. Cardwell, who gets into the backspace, takes the ball and scores again for the home team. Was that a bit more fluid? Did that please Sam Poolman more?
Well, I was going to share, this is what the two tall timbers for the Adelaide Thunderbirds can do. One shooter can come out, so Lucy Austin come out and you start. Wilson!
Just knocking it down for Parmenter to clean up. So they go back on the attack. Harton, cross court, Jamie Lee Price. Williams couldn't get there in time. The super shot is open and Joe Harton says, we'll take it. But she misses. Wilson cleans up. Sterling.
Offside, centre.
It's off Jamie Lee Price.
Well, and lucky to get that ball away and a penalty, because they are, all their options for the Adelaide Thunderbirds are wide. They are really struggling to transition this ball out.
Williams almost falling offside. Nankerville for Austin. Lucy. Trying to steal a bit of momentum here, Adelaide, late in the second quarter. And we'll have a tactical timeout. Julie Fitzgerald wants to marshal the troops. Let's go to Emily Beaton. Actually, Emily's going to go and listen in, so I've dived into her a little prematurely. Let's listen to Julie Fitzgerald if we can.
Just be careful now with looking at the five. Be aware of that, all right? Talk to each other, keep the noise up.
And the other person stops running and we go back. Yeah? She's the only one.
Yeah, but you feel her on your body, so then you stop and change, all right? Feel her on your body, stop and change. No room. All the way down on her, all the way down.
Dude, I should have shot that one. You can just go one, me under. If you want the two, you go for it, but I'll stay under. Yeah, I'm not going to come out for it, I'll stay under. If Sophie wants it, she'll have it. Yeah, sweet. There we go, let's go, let's go! Concentration here, all the way, concentration, let's go now.
It's great to be listening, or able to listen in, as these teams adjust and make changes. What did you take out of that Giants huddle, Sam?
Well, interesting enough, spending time talking about this power five, which is exactly why they called the HCF timeout defensively. What are you doing to make sure that the other team doesn't score in the two-point zone, which is keeping them out of court? And then Joe Harton, if Sophie wants to go for it, she can. So that shows that they're in a good position.
Jamie Lee Price putting pressure on Maisie Nankerville. No goal is easy at the moment for Adelaide. The super shot from Elle Cardwell. And Emily Beaton was listening into the last huddle from Adelaide. What was said, Em?
A lot of attention was paid to the Thunderbirds midquarters, just asking them to reoffer both in attack and defence. Brilliant pick-up. Oh, she's been exciting, hasn't she, LaTanya Wilson? I'm loving that. But back to the huddle, it was all about the Thunderbirds midcourt always being there on defence and attack. I think that's where the game's going to be won.
You're so right, and that focus and why they've changed in that position. But I'm really interested to see how both teams play out this final five. We see Giants Netball are so strong in this. They're in a good position, so they say we can shoot it if we want it. We can scoreboard pressure if we need to.
These are big minutes, aren't they, Sam? And evidence is Joe Hart really animated, shouting at her team, screaming at her team after that most recent goal.
Well, you've got a team who love the super shot power five, and you have a team in the Adelaide Thunderbirds who don't often use this, but the pressure on the scoreboard is now with them. They have to try and sink the twos.
Lucy Austin, but she'll get to go again.
And this is where the strategy comes in. Do you just go for a one and continue? It's only the second quarter. Scoreboard pressure, or do you stand up and deliver like Elle Cardwell and bring the score back?
2 from 3 super shots for Elle Cardwell. She's a perfect 15 of 15 when it comes to the one-pointers. Now Sophie Dwyer, who has shown her ability from range, but the miss there, cleaned up by Shamira Sterling.
And if you're going to miss, that's the exact person that is going to make you pay. Now let's make sure that Adelaide Thunderbirds can score off this game possession. See how hard it is for them to get an option. Credit. This is why, if you've got a coach that tells you attackers have to defend, this is why the pressure that is put long court on the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
Julie Fitzgerald will be loving this. It's hard for Adelaide, and there's a case in point. The wayward pass. The approving coach sitting sideline. Her team under pressure, and here's a win for Adelaide. Cardwell was out of control, but settles through Horges, Nankerville, and Eleanor Cardwell. Hasn't missed from that range today.
Look at Tracy Neville, their assistant coach, up on her feet, knowing how much her shooters are standing up and delivering. And hey, you don't always see an inset stat from your goal shooter.
This to lock it up, Sam, but it waves away from the edge, falls into the hands of Austin. It's back to 1. Cardwell with just her second miss of the afternoon. It's cleaned up by her fellow shooter. And it's 28-27. The Giants fighting hard, but likewise Adelaide now. Despite their problems through the midcourt, they're not going away, and neither is Sophie Dwyer. The rebound taken by Harton with 36 seconds left.
Adelaide Thunderbirds need to be patient here. 30 seconds on the clock is still a decent amount of time. They don't need to risk anything. Just play it to the post.
The whistle bails them out. It was a little messy there. They'll settle down through Elle Cardwell. For a Suncorp super shot, bottom of the net. Is that the final score of the half? There are 10 seconds left here for the Giants. Quickly, Shamira Sterling, brilliant defensively. Now it goes towards Austin. Seconds remaining, has to go through, doesn't even find the hole. What a half of netball. We wondered whether this would be the match of the round, and that is how it is turning out to be. Shamira Sterling all over as much as she can be defensively. A fight back late in the first half locks us up at 29. The T-Birds and the Giants all square as we find Emily Beaton with Shamira Sterling.
Shamira, that was an incredible end to that quarter. You have been coming through with flying intercepts. How are you feeling out on court?
Well, I feel like at this moment, my team really needs the defense, and that's what we did out there, just went for the ball.
And you've been in a position today already where you haven't had to really fight back in many games so far. What are you bringing that fight from? Where is that coming from within the team?
I think that we came into this season where we do not want to lose, especially to the Giants, who are down on the ladder. So we want to get that win to be climbing the ladder.
Brilliant. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back to you, Maddie.
Thank you, Emily. She's been brilliant. Shamira Sterling, Sam Pillman, so much to talk about from the first half in our halftime show coming up. But when it comes to the match summary, what numbers there are jumping off the page at you? I like the one on top, 29 on 29. We thought it might be close, and that's how it's turning out to be.
And how entertaining the final 30 seconds of that match is exactly what we expected from this team. 12 games to Giants 7. We know how good the Adelaide Thunderbirds are in getting ball. Quite even defensively in terms of penalties and contacts, but wow, 212.5 Nissan net points for the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
We'll get more thoughts from Sam and Emily in the halftime show to follow. Don't forget Pivot straight after full time here this afternoon, and Centre Circle, the new format every Thursday. We love the chat, we love the debate, we love the opinions, and Super Netball gives us reason for plenty of all of them. Don't miss it, Centre Circle every Thursday night.
A netball show unlike any other. Breaking news.
Coaching news that shocked the netball community this week.
And breaking ground.
They've got to have the power to make it and be loud about it. This debacle in particular is just not good enough.
Profiling the world's best players.
They're getting fitter, faster, stronger. She was brilliant.
Giving the game the attention it deserves.
This debate, team doctor or independent doctor present at all of the games.
Centre Circle, 7 p.m. every Thursday on Fox Netball.
The Giants have a dominant record against Adelaide, and they need it to continue this afternoon, winless so far to start Suncorp Super Netball for 2023. They've been fighting hard, plenty of deflections, tips and touches, disruptions from both teams, because Adelaide want to stay unbeaten The Giants are chasing their first win. Guess what? We hit half-time and it's all square. So your prediction, Sam Pullman, that we might need extra time, well, it's right on track. What have you made of the Giants' attack so far, Sam?
Well, it's been entertaining. I feel like their start was a little bit slow, and that was probably out of respect to the quality defensive opposition that they come up against. But I feel that they found the options and the flow that we know that they're so good at. Once that first 5 minutes of the first quarter underway, and they are really damaging. Sophie Dwyer, impressive. She's really sneaky in terms of you don't really know what she's going to do, and then she dominates.
And she's such a calm presence in that goal circle. She's so consistent, you know what you're going to get from her, and that's one of her absolute strengths as a player.
Yeah, the Lightning, not the Lightning, the home team, the Thunderbirds, jumped out of the blocks, led handily early on. The Giants fought back and they led quite well. What did you make of Adelaide's attack, though, especially through the early stages, Emily?
Yeah, it's been a bit up and down, hasn't it? They did start beautifully. I think they were 4-0 to begin the game. And then the Giants really fought back, which we knew they would. The beauty of the Thunderbirds this year is that they have got an arsenal where they can make changes, and it doesn't just have to be because someone's not playing well. It can be tactical and it can be strategic, which is what they've done, and which is why the score is now even at half-time.
Tilly McDonald saw court time in the first half. What did you make of the Giants' defensive end, Sam?
Really impressive from the start. We knew that they needed to come out and have the pressure from the start. Their intensity was there. We saw them get held balls, which shows that the entire defence end is creating pressure. And Amy Parmenter been a little bit quiet in terms of getting hands on intercepts, which we know she's incredible at. She really came to play in the first couple of minutes. I think she had 3 intercepts before we really got into the quarter. So their intensity is there. They'll know, though, now that there's change in the Adelaide Thunderbirds, that they need to step up to a whole nother level in this second half.
Sometimes you go a whole game without seeing a held ball forced on a team. We saw 3 in the first 20 minutes forced on Adelaide by the Giants' defence. What can Adelaide build on defensively in the second half, Emily?
I think Adelaide's defence is the ones that really kept them in this game. They have got Shamira Sterling back there at goalkeeper. We saw her finish that quarter coming through with an intercept. Latanya Wilson has been so impressive. When she moved to goal defence, she actually picked up a few more balls there. Seeing those Jamaicans flying through the air, it's what the fans come to see. We love watching it, and it keeps things so exciting for the Thunderbirds.
Their real improvement is actually not in their defensive pressure or getting hand on ball. It's their attack that they need to improve on. They're really struggling at getting their gains, just like Sterling and how amazing she is, to then transition down the court.
Emily, I got Sam to comment on the match summary as we hit half-time. Here's your opportunity. Scan those numbers as the room in here makes a bit more noise. They're looking forward to the second half. What stands out to you there?
The one thing that I find interesting is how many missed net points the Thunderbirds have got at the moment. It's such an evenly placed game, and they were probably behind for a lot of it. The shooting accuracy, the Thunderbirds are up there, but not by much. It's pretty evenly spread.
Okay, put your coaching caps on, ladies. What are the respective leaders of these teams saying to them in the meeting rooms during half-time? Sam, you go first.
I think it's that they need to stand up to a whole nother level. They need to give the ball that's in front of them in attack and then continue to bring that intensity in their one-on-one defence. I know it sounds simple, but both teams are doing a really fantastic job, and they need to play with confidence if they're going to get the win.
Absolutely, and one thing, I've been listening into the Thunderbirds a little bit and sitting very close to their coaches, and they're really pushing the 1%ers for their teams. They know that's what wins games. They know that this is going to be a close game, so asking their players to do the little things really well, and that's what might get them over the line.
You tipped Adelaide pre-game, Emily. You're not changing?
I'm not changing. I'm sticking with them.
Sam, you tipped the Giants. You're not changing?
Not changing, and also still backing my extra time game. Thanks, Matt.
Okay, we're about to start the third quarter. We can't wait for that, but exciting news in the meantime for all netball clubs and associations. Woolworths are back with $100,000 in grants. It showcases Woolworths' community spirit. pickfreshplayfresh.com.au. That's the place to go. pickfreshplayfresh.com.au. Apply today. You could be cashed up tomorrow. From Netball South Australia Stadium, we are set for the third quarter. Adelaide and the Giants locked at 29 all. Highly encouraging first half from both teams. Good defence, good attack at times. Who can put it together for the majority of the second half as the first goal goes to Lucy Austin? She draws a penalty, now shoots the penalty shot, and Adelaide have the front, which makes it a good time to go to Thunderbirds coach Tanya Obbs. A fast start to the game by your team, Tanya. Fast finish to the half, but what did you make of the minutes in between?
Oh, bit of good stuff and probably not some great stuff, but you know, we were really pleased with our ability to get ourselves back into the game and be level at half time.
Tanya, the ability to get ball isn't your issue, and there's some flow nicely in attack with you changing up that attacking unit. Was there some feedback around transitioning from your gained ball?
We had a slightly different one for the Giants, and we probably weren't executing that to start with. So once we put that into play, I think we actually did that quite well.
How do you win this second half? Giants keep coming back at you. What's the key messaging to your team?
Yeah, I think we just need to obviously score off our centre pass, which we haven't just done, but you know, our ability to change direction in attack, I think, will serve us well, and you know, when we do gain the ball,
just like that.
Score off it.
Talk to me about your attacking end. We saw Lucy Austin start the season in goal shooter. She's come back on the court today. For me, she looks more confident. What are you hoping from the two tall timbers back there?
Yeah, well, we obviously got a bit of a height advantage with Elle and Lucy in there. And, you know, Lucy is itching to get back on the court, and she gets an opportunity to do that now. So I think we play a little bit different game with the talls. And it's just about making sure that we get the ball in great shooting positions.
Thank you, Tanya. Bright start to the second half from Tanya's team, and in the centre of it, LaTanya Wilson, Chamira Sterling again. Here's Williams in a battle with Maddie Hay. But one thing that Tanya mentioned, Sam, was the need to lift the centre pass to goal ratio. Both these teams last in the league in that regard, which makes me think if they can lift that percentage, they'll be really well placed because they're playing good netball around that.
Are you telling us that the most simple thing to do is score off your centre passes, Maddie? But you're so right. Interesting. Tanya should just speak to us all game, because have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Her team, look at Wilson getting another intercept. They've really turned it on when we had access to speaking to her. But you're right, they're so great at getting gained possession, scoring off it. They need to make sure, interestingly enough, going into this game, they go back. Jamie Lee Price. That's a win for her. Interesting enough, going into this game, Adelaide Thunderbirds do use their defenders and go back, which means they're not... It can be strategic, Maddie, but it needs they need more options going through the front in attack.
Harton and Hay working in together for a giant score. Just back to that centre pass to goal ratio. An expert who played 4 seasons with Adelaide and 5 at the Giants told me, score off all your centre passes and get a gain, you win the game. Pretty simple, Sam Poole.
Very wise, isn't it? But especially against two teams like this who can get balls. Sterling. Her long arms and the ability to get hand on ball for her team is super impressive.
Price. Here's Sophie Dwyer back to Jamie Lee. Now Harton beats the lunge from LaTanya Wilson. And Harton scores again. 13 of 15. She's missed both her super shots. Jo Harton.
Have a look at the attack from the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Hay gets the game possession. This is exactly what we're talking about. Scoring off your centre passes. They couldn't get through that wall of Giants netball defence. They had no options. And Hay comes up with the intercept.
This has been physical. Some of the attacking efforts have been wild because of the defensive pressure applied to the ball handlers.
Well, interesting enough, we saw captain of Giants netball goal shooter Joe Harton speaking to the umpires at halftime. But interestingly enough, the crowd here for the Adelaide Thunderbirds and all team, every single call are getting up, questioning the umpiring.
So the Giants, Sam, go back in front through Sophie Dwyer.
Well, have a look at the Harvey Norman replay and this intercept and win from Hay. That's a cross-court lateral ball. That's a big absolutely no-no if you're a coach in any level of netball, Matt.
Hart and Hay again. Look at this combination. Let's bring in a lady who delivered for Adelaide for a decade. Emily Beaton, what do you add about Adelaide's woes at the moment?
At the moment, they're really losing it across their attacking transverse line. Brilliant from the Adelaide Thunderbirds defence. They are the ones keeping them in the game at the moment. Now, this is where we want to see the Thunderbirds. This is where they've been losing it in this half-forward line. We'll see how Lucy Austin goes.
And you're so right and beaten. This is the old Adelaide Thunderbirds that we've seen that have no problem in entertaining us and getting hands on ball. It's about the attack end, transitioning that ball and scoring off their centre passes. They need to be patient, continually use the change of direction and not give away really simple calls like an offside or a contact, because then it gives Giants netball another opportunity to score.
I think it's a big game for Adelaide, which might sound silly given they haven't been beaten yet this season. The 2 wins and the draw because of the match abandonment. But they want to repay their community, the fans who turned out and were disappointed by the finish in round 2. They want to make the first month unbeaten to set up as Harton shoots and misses, but gets it back, Joe Harton. They want to set up their next 2 games against the grand finalists.
You're right, this is a crucial game and their fans were absolutely incredible. Yes, we won't forget that game anytime soon, but for me, the crowd and the fans, the energy and that moment was really heartfelt and warming for me. They are sticking by these Adelaide Thunderbirds. They have for the last 10 years. 2013 was the last time they made finals. So they're an entertaining team to play, and this crowd, as you can hear, are in every single intercept and every single contest.
At the Team Girls Cup, Adelaide kicked the Vixens but lost the final to the Fever. They're here next week against the Vixens, then off to RAC Arena against the Fever, but right now they're in a dogfight with the Giants.
Their start to the season has been super impressive. We all get very excited. Another cross-court ball. We all get very excited about their lineup and the opportunity for them to make finals. But you're right, this game and the next 2 are going to show if they are serious business coming to the end of the season.
Obstruction centre.
Jamie Lee Price called for obstruction. Maisie Nankerville. Austin wants the ball and gets it at circle edge. Now she finds Cardwell. Not much April Brandley could do there. And we're locked up again.
Great use of her strength, finding the defender on her body, Elle Cardwell, and finding the space. That's what I want to see from this tall timber attacking unit. Let the fast midcourt do the work out the front. Find the defender on your body. It opens up the space for a really nice feed.
Gorgeous to Nankerville.
Just
despite
like that.
Tilly McDonald's efforts. Lucy Austin has the height. She draws the penalty, gives Elle Cardwell the shots, and now Adelaide go back in front.
And I'll say it all the time, have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. A well-placed ball, Matt, is very hard to intercept or disrupt as a defender.
Sophie Dwyer shooting over the top of Latanya Wilson. Shamira Sterling up above 100, missing net points already. Had that stunning total early this season, round 1, 158. One of the best scores all time, and now Amy Parmenter hits the hardwood.
Have a look at this contest. Great elevation, but unfortunately you just can't go off. Great insight from the Harvey Norman replay. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going down that attack and for the Adelaide Thunderbirds as we call a timeout to wipe the court there. But that's the physicality that these 2 shooters bring from the Adelaide Thunderbirds find the body, work together, beautifully placed ball will beat the Giants netball defenders any day.
After that most recent goal, interesting to see Eleanor Cardwell have a long chat with the umpire. We saw Jo Harton in a chat as well as she emerged from half-time. So both the England leaders of their respective teams trying to lead the umpires as well. Jo Harton
Talk
leads.
about leading. Fantastic look away from Jo Harton. She is so creative and will fool you any day. Really smart play by her.
Sophie Dwyer with the finish. So Adelaide in possession. Elle Cardwell looking for Austin, but Tilly McDonald.
In the two.
Interesting to see what teams do now as we get close to the Power 5. Do they call a tactical timeout or do they let this play out? Both teams need to be tactically really switched on in this last Power 5.
Austin, the 21-year-old who's come through the South Australian pathway, hasn't missed yet. 7 from 7. As Hay goes to Harton again. And Maddie Hay leading the feeds with 32 for the game. So inside the final 5 minutes of this third quarter. Like we were at halftime, we're locked together. Both teams scoring 8 goals since the resumption. And Lucy Austin backing herself for a Suncorp super shot. There's some noise inside Netball South Australia Stadium now.
How good was that? This is what they provide, a rebounder no matter who takes that shot. It gives you the confidence. Let's see if Dwyer can deliver. Oh, Sterling! Another rejection to her name. Geez, she's good.
And again, it's on Sophie Dwyer. Soph will be having nightmares tonight.
Well, that was a classic double defense over the shot, creating pressure. And then Sterling, her ability to time a rejection like that. Have a look at the replay. 1 defender, 2 defender, and she wins the ball. Great replay on the Harvey Norman.
She'll put her head on the pillow, shut her eyes and see Shamira Sterling's hand.
She'll be dreaming about her. And that's what now she brings as that really impressive player. You know, you've got to respect that opponent, but I'm sure she brings some fear into plenty of the attackers in Super Netball.
Mankerville cops the bump from Parmenter. We might need to wipe the floor again. There's been plenty of bodies on the floor in this one.
There has. It does give them an opportunity to take a breath
again.
as well. Oh, gosh. A little bit slow to get up.
Maisie's in the walls.
Have a look at the replay. Quite a challenge from Branley. And Macy is back on her feet and the crowd are applauding her for her efforts. A deep breath from her. And she'll just want to get this a nice, easy feed away.
Maisie Mankerville, a vice-captain of the club, 2-time club champion. In her 5th year as a Thunderbird, here's Austin, her first full year as a contracted player, elevated.
Great rebound by her. That's another asset and strength. With 2 tall shooters down there, that Giants netball defenders haven't been great at rebounds this season. Rebound is an opportunity for you to gain possession. They've got to get up there and contest.
So at 41-37, there's a little bit of scoreboard pressure on the Giants late in this third quarter. Do they try and handle the pressure by taking the super shots, or do they play the percentage?
Interesting you say that, because last week they identified they probably should have just kept on ticking away at the scoreboard. It is only the third quarter.
Well, here's Sophie Dwyer in super shot range, and if you can drop them like that, you might as well shoot them all day. Does that win your support, Emily Beaton?
You can see how quickly that she took that shot, and I think that is the key over the Thunderbirds defenders. You can't wait for them to do a double jump.
You're so right. We've seen so many blocks and rejections from Sterling in this game. You've either got to screen her out so she can't defend over the shot, or you've got to turn, back yourself, deliver, just like Dwyer does time and time again.
So just 1 shot in it at the moment. 2 goals the difference. Georgie Horgis, nice Lofted ball for Cardwell just to settle the home team. They're leading this third quarter 13-10, having won the second 17-12.
Have a look at the Nissan Netball match leaders. Sterling, no surprise, 123 at the top. Price and Hay have been very impressive. As I say, impressive, and Joe Harton flicks one back in. But they are both equally impressive.
Sophie Dwyer gets her own rebound.
Shortest in the... Look at Sterling knowing that they don't want a two-point shot. The umpire...
Well, that season high 158's in danger with a quarter to play. If Shamira Sterling can continue to defend like she does. But I tell you what, Sophie Dwyer is up to the challenge.
They'll be talking about that at quarter break. They've got to shut her down from that zone. I would be, as a defender, standing in that two-point zone, not allowing her to get the ball.
Sophie Dwyer 5 from 8 in terms of super shots. Does Elle Cardwell back herself here? No, Lucy Austin positions for a slightly closer, long look, and it goes as well. Quality shooting from Sophie Dwyer, Lucy Austin. And there's a chance here for the Giants to have the final say. 10 seconds left in the third quarter, and it's Dwyer throwing it straight to Latanya Wilson. Now Cardwell, time against them. Austin! It didn't go through in time. Waved away. The Thunderbirds, though, have the front. There's concern here. Shamira Sterling clutching at a leg. Plenty to follow. How bad is this for Shamira? Her team is in front by 3. We'll follow the Shamira Sterling injury scare in the arms of Latanya Wilson. It's a calf she clutched at. Here it is again. She landed awkwardly. Well, she landed on a good leg, then clutched at the right ankle/calf. Big news. Netball South Australia Stadium will break. Come back with the fourth quarter and an update on Shamira Sterling.
Welcome back to Netball SA Stadium. We have got an incredible tussle between the Adelaide Thunderbirds and the Giants. The big news out of the Thunderbirds huddle is Shamira Sterling, bit proppy with an injury. It's one to watch. Matt, what have you been seeing in the Giants huddle?
Thank you very much, Emily. The quarter time brought to you by Origin Energy. We've got plenty to get through. Sam Pillman, let's start with a chat that Joe Harton had with the umpires in three-quarter time.
Yeah, went to the umpires again in terms of the Adelaide Thunderbirds shooters, getting clarification around the shooters backing into Giants netball defenders. The umpire looking, okay, so that's a battle that we have to look. Who's going to get pinned when they're contesting each other?
We saw that injury to Shamira Sterling, who's back on court in that defensive role against Joe Harton. She was in a long discussion with the medical staff, but emerged a little proppy. The fact that she's starting this fourth quarter means that that calf must be okay. They must have cleared her of any significant damage or anything that she's likely to aggravate further as Austin scores first in the fourth quarter.
She's a key player for the Adelaide Thunderbirds and standing in as co-captain with Hannah Petty out. So I don't think there's any way they would leave her off the court. Have a look at this setup from the Adelaide Thunderbirds defence end. A square, so all 4 of them are off the body trying to create chaos. But by doing that, you have to have a crack at that ball.
Joe Harton with the goal. You know, Adelaide haven't lost a quarter outside the first quarter this season. They won the second and third here this afternoon, 17-12, 15-12. They haven't dropped any quarter outside the first. And Elle Cardwell with a miss. We'll hope that continues today. Parmenter to Jamie Lee Price, cross court. McDonald under a little pressure, handles it well. Now the experience of Branley for Dwyer. Back to April. Cross court, Maddie Hay. Good to see Maddie Hay with some fans in the house. There were supporters holding an advertising board saying, "We're farmers, we love hay." Travelling a long way to watch Maddie ply her stuff. Harton. 45-43. There it is. On cue.
Contact, goal attack.
Parmenta for Dwyer.
Deflection, wing defender. Beside the wing defence.
So obstruction called on Williams. They go back to Hay. Had some work to do to take the pass. Jamie Lee Price finding Harton, who was very vocal during Origin three-quarter time. Now, Parmenta. Interesting to hear Julie Fitzgerald encourage her team, saying our final quarters are really good quarters. Believe in yourselves, back yourselves, be confident.
It was a very positive break, and why wouldn't they be? They are in this contest and they know how to fight out close battles against quality oppositions. They want this win too. They want to be higher up the ladder than where they are right now.
Ahead for the Giants, a trip to Ken Rosewall Arena, so back home next Saturday against Collingwood, then the Queensland Firebirds. I'd love to open their account today, build some confidence, and then go into games they can really, on paper, go well in. Not if they pass like that. Sterling finds her fellow Jamaican. Latanya Wilson for Horges. Now Austin. Maisie Nankivell. So Lucy Austin, an awkward shot, but she makes it look easy.
And really nice use of her speed, being a tall player, to cut the front of the circle there. She has been good as an impact player coming in today. Sometimes they move too much, these two. They need to make sure they're using their prelims or change of direction to get away a Giants netball defender. It's a great feed from Horges into Austin. They played years of juniors together, so they have a connection that has been built over many years playing for South Australia.
She's 14 of 16 now, Lucy Austin, including making both her super shot attempts.
Wing defence obstruction. Wing defence take a step up.
So many of the Adelaide Thunderbirds have come through the South Australian pathways and played a lot of netball together. Jo Harton, a gimme from there and asking her team to lift. There's the last 10 goals. Jo breaking a run of 3 straight by the home team.
I'm loving this contest. It is going back and forth by both teams. Another beautiful feed from Horges into Austin. I'm sure Emily Beaton on the sideline would be loving these feeds. They're exactly what was missing earlier in the match.
Hay beats Wilson to the ball. And the Giants can set up here. And they throw it away. Maddie Hay had a player in her sights, but she ducked when she should have weaved. And the ball goes over the baseline. Now Hay gets it back.
Contact, goal defence with the shooter.
Harton
Goal, moving off goal
makes
defence.
good. So 49-46 inside the final 10, Sam.
Look at the passion on her face. She is continually giving to her team when it's down the other end in the three-quarter break. She said it is 15 minutes of fight. Whether we win or lose, we need to do 7 attack, 7 defence to win this game. Oh, interesting words to Jamie Lee Price. Normally she would get quite flustered in that contest, but just laughs it off. That shows her maturity in her game and how each year she just keeps getting better.
Price at circle edge.
Oh, Williams!
She put Dwyer under pressure
Contact, goal defence. Oddie.
with the pickup.
Just take a moment.
And there's more physicality, more contact.
By the goal defence. Barney's moving off.
Jo Harton, ice cool.
Have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. The contest between Wilson and Harton. Not sure there was as much in it as what Harton shows, but I'll tell you one thing, Maddie, a fired up Harton is someone you don't want to come up against. She will stand up and deliver.
Fighting distraction keeper.
So Dwyer scores. And if the Giants can go on with the game, can pull away late in it and go 1-3 for the season, they'll be exactly where they were last season when they worked their way into a prelim final and within 1 goal of the grand final.
Interesting as Giants gain the ball again. For me, this Adelaide Thunderbirds attacking unit is making it hard for themselves. They need an extra middle pass at the moment. The Giants netball defenders are just keeping them out, and have a look at how quickly they are flying down the court. Oh, Sterling. Jo Harton slaps her arms going, where is the contact? Getting quite frustrated, considering she was the one that went and spoke to the umpires at multiple times during this game.
Emily, over to you.
So where the Thunderbirds are losing at the moment is exactly here in the midcourt. As we hear the Thunderbirds crowd is not happy with that call. So what people at home to be watching for is the Thunderbirds wing defence or goal defence. They need to fight for that inside ball. At the moment, the attackers are having to throw it over the top of a Giants player to keep possession. So they're losing it. It's really easy to read when the ball's in the air for that long.
You're so right, Em. The coach in me is having a heart attack that they are literally giving an intercept on a platter for the Giants netballers, throwing a cross-court ball. It's just asking to be intercepted.
It was 29-all at halftime. It is 49-all with a bit over 6.5 left in the final quarter. Sam Pullman, you prophet, you predicted extra time, and who knows? But right now we're on track. Here's an HCF tactical timeout.
You know, like, if you're going to get past, if you have to run past Jamie, maybe it's you coming back. But if Maisie goes, somebody needs to be on the inside. Yeah, we can't always be throwing it over, all right? Then it's Taylor. Yeah? All right, come on, stick together out there, finish this game off.
We need you on the lines. We need you as backup. If it takes us 20 passes to get there, it takes us bloody 20 passes to get there. We can score them goals. I want to see that passion coming out of you from every single one of you.
Let's find that extra 10%.
Let's fight. T-Birds on 3. 1, 2, 3, T-Birds. Let's go.
Tanya Obst in charge of Adelaide since 2019, handing over to Eleanor Cardwell, then Shamira Sterling. The leaders in the Thunderbirds having the final say, and Jo Harton has been a big talker all game for the Giants. Aren't we set up for 6 minutes and 37 seconds of netball ahead?
The passion out of the Adelaide Thunderbirds. I want to go out on the court and play for them. This is a really exciting final 6 minutes of the game. Interesting, the coach of the Adelaide Thunderbirds acknowledging that they need somebody back at the ball in attack. Wilson! What a contest from her!
Big collision between Williams and Harton.
That was incredible. We have to see that on the replay. What an incredible contest from Wilson. Her elevation, her strength in the air. Boy, that's what she's so good at.
Jo Harton knew she'd been involved in a contact there. It's Horges, but Parmenta torments again.
We're set up for a really entertaining 5 minutes, Maddie, and let me tell you why. We're going up against a Giants netball team that have been together for seasons now. They know how to play in situations like this versus a very new but talented Adelaide Thunderbirds who are very, very hungry. Have a look at the Harvey Norman replay.
You're right, it was Latanya Wilson into Hart, into Taylor Williams. They all copped it.
Would you expect anything less? These players are athletic, They are strong. They spend hours in the gym for contests like this. Every single player on this court is going to stand up and give everything they can in this final 5 minutes of the game for their team.
Wilson and Sterling called out a play there. Harton scores. We'll wipe the floor. It's 50 apiece. And there are 5 minutes and change remaining. We're about to hear the signal to bring in the super shots.
And this is where the super shot power 5 becomes so entertaining. Do you take the 2 when it's there, back yourself in? Can you stand up and deliver? Do you have to defensively block that position?
Coming into this game, the Thunderbirds were 11 of 20 in the super shot arc. The Giants, 32 of 52. Top of the league in terms of percentage and total makes. Here's Joe Harton for a super shot straight away to go ahead by 2. They've shown their hand. Julie Fitzgerald watches on. Her team has a little breathing space. What's the answer here from Austin and co? Do they let go from distance? No, they just let it go. Amy Parmenter with the pickup through Dwyer. Harton has it. Now Hay at circle edge.
This is the experience of Giants netball that comes into play here.
Obstruction, wing defence.
Happy to pass the ball. Something Harton spoke about at Origin 3/4 time. She knew that was off the target. Chased hard. It will stay with the Giants, and Sophie Dwyer makes it 3. The good.
An interchange from the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Taylor Williams off the court and Matilda Garrett comes on. I think she's been injected into the game to bring really long arms at the ball, and will have to have a crack. You've come into the game, get ball, hands on ball.
You may be right. Could it be something to do with the head knock Taylor Williams appeared to pick up a moment ago? Who knows? Something in there. So Jamie Lee Price at circle edge. Here's Joe Harton for another 2. The Giants.
That's exactly the zone that you don't want Giants netball, and a fired up Joe Harton in that position.
54-50. There are the shooting stats for the Giants. Harton and Dwyer. Look at Dwyer's super shot. Well, Harton's added a couple now. 2 of 4.
This is where Sterling, Wilson and Garrett need to stand up and show us what they are so good at that we talk about all game. They need to take a risk. They need to get hand on ball.
Austin and Cardwell shooting above 80%. They are 6 of 10 super shots. Dwyer to Jamie Lee Price. Nankivell will be called out of it.
Giants netball can be patient in attack here. Adelaide Thunderbirds need to stay in play. They need to continue to move their feet to contest the ball. Giants netball can just be patient as we get, not that patient, as we get a held ball and Sterling racing after the possession.
Well, Adelaide owe the Giants a few held balls, don't they? There's one.
They do, and if they're going to transition this ball ever today, it is.
And now the other way. Adelaide called for held ball. The pressure rises. It's 3 the difference. The Giants, the visitors, trying to maintain their domination of the Thunderbirds. They lead their head-to-head battle 10-2. Hart marshalling her troops.
Well, and playing possession ball, they know the contact's going to come, so they are patient. There's multiple options. They are going back to the line every time an Adelaide Thunderbirds play out contacts. It's time on the clock. Someone needs to have a fly here. Giants netball are patient. They're throwing it around. Somebody from the Adelaide Thunderbirds needs to have a crack at the ball. Otherwise, Joe Harton is going to do just that.
It's a super shot that sends them out by 5. Desperate times for the Thunderbirds. Emily Beaton, what do?
They need to send the ball in quickly. They need to score, and they need to score fast to really bring back this lead. They can't afford to pass it around too much, and they need to nail these super shots.
Austin drew a whistle, goes to Cardwell, it spins away.
They have to go for a super shot here. Smart play by Cardwell. And she's the person that will stand up and deliver for them.
57-54. 30 seconds left.
If you're ever going to take a risk, this is where it is. Stay in play.
They need to be calm. They need composure, the Giants. There's plenty of experience out there. Jamie Lee Price, Joe Harton. 2 examples of that. Amy Parmenter. Contact called on Eleanor Cardwell.
It's a swipe, goal attack.
And the crowd shows its reaction.
Contact, wing defender.
They are working the clock, the Giants. They are closing in on their first win of the season. Sophie Dwyer, there's the exclamation mark. The Giants putting a smile on Julie Fitzgerald's face. They've come to Adelaide, a fertile hunting ground for them, and taken down the unbeaten Thunderbirds. The Giants have their first win of the Super Netball season, 59-54. What a game. And it was the effort, the energy, and the ability of Joe Harton and co that got the Giants home late, Sam.
They would have learnt from moments last week and been disappointed in what they did today. They were super smart in terms of standing up and making good decisions when it mattered.
What a big result for the Giants. They were made to work oh so hard. Scores regularly locked together during this game. Eleanor Cardwell and her team tried so hard and took some beating. And the match stats will show why the Giants are smiling from ear to ear. 59-54, they have their first win of the season. They are now where they were this time last season, when they went on to make the prelim final. Very quickly, Sam, talk us through some of those numbers.
Well, when you have a look at the stats, 17 games to Giants, 11. For me, the time in possession of 56% from Giants and the gains in terms of the stats reflect that in moments when they had ball, Giants were really clever, played it smart when they need to play it round, but then executed when they need to, versus the Adelaide Thunderbirds had that possession, had multiple opportunities in games, just not as tactically switched on to deliver as an experienced Giants netball is.
What a game, what a result for the Giants. They take down the Thunderbirds 59-54. Let's go to Emily Beaton, who is standing by with our player of the game.
I am with Amy Parmenter. Amy, how does it feel to get your first win of the season?
Oh, that win. I wanted that win nearly as much as I wanted that prelim final win last year, so we were desperate for one, and it feels good to finally get one on the board.
And your performance, you had an incredible match, and it started from the get-go. You were flying through with intercepts. What was your focus coming into this game?
Oh, I think the last few weeks we've just been trying a bit too hard. Like, I think we just wanted to get out there, like, play how we play and use instinct and connection, and I think that's what we did.
You absolutely did do that. Congratulations and enjoy the win.
Oh, thanks, Sam.
Back to you, Matt.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Sam Pillman. What an enjoyable afternoon it's been. Thank you to all behind the scenes working hard this Easter Sunday. And thanks to you watching at home. Enjoy these happy Giants, but don't go anywhere. It's time to say Happy Easter, Hannah Hollis, Anne Sargent and Caitlin Bassett.